Alright guys, good evening everyone. Welcome to our daily stock market insights with Miss JD over here. If this is your first time to watch our video, I am doing a daily stock market review. I review your favorite stocks in the Philippine market, and likewise I also take a look at the most trending ones. So as you can see, I would always click the highly traded ones and then work my way downwards. In the meantime, before I get started, I'd like to invite everyone, if this is your first time to watch our video, you may hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you're always updated whenever I have new videos. And yeah, smash the like if you see value in our discussion. Okay, so let's begin. I'd like to first recognize those people who have dropped by our previous video and of course had uh, left their comments, right? Uh, PD Avicii, Hamis JD, Pasama Now, and IDC. Yes, definitely. And prioritize that first. And Papski World also said, thank you, Miss JD. Nice video again from Pedro Briones. And the rest came from the old ones. Okay, so let's get started over here. So the first one is our index. Uh, for our index, we've seen some signs of recovery in the past 2 days. Last October 30th, which was last Friday, we already had that sign of possible reversal, and then it was also there was a follow through today with another green candlestick. So I'm thinking this is already for me, it looks like this is already a higher low. It's a higher low for the index, and potentially we will be moving higher and higher in the coming days. First, it'll challenge the 6,500 level, and if there is really momentum and volume as we go higher and higher, then chances are we could easily break that and continue our movement to the upside. So the nearest, so I'd like to plot our nearest resistance at the 6,579 level. But definitely looking really, really good at this point. Do we have some foreign buying? Not yet. So maybe the increase is going to look very, very gradual in the next few days. Okay, so let's begin. Our first stock to review would be IDC. IDC is also giving us some bullish movements for the past what? Since September. So this is um, the second month in case, but definitely I'd like you guys to observe what happens around this key level over here, the 297, because this could act as a possible resistance, nearest resistance at the moment. Reason for that is because we saw this, and each time as we go higher, actually it's an area, so it could also be around this level. So anywhere from 2.87 to 297, that is your possible area of resistance. Okay, so there could be some profit taking that might happen as we go up here. Reason being is that we've been climbing for the past how many months now, second month in a row. Okay, there are some slight fluctuations, which is actually healthy because with that, the increase and the declines are not really that drastic, right? But overall, if you're a long-term investor of IDC, the climb or the reversal is just, I'd say we're halfway there. I'm not saying outright we're going to go back to the 594. Maybe if there's a major player or major catalyst for this stock that might influence that, it could just be worth how many weeks, right? In fact, sometimes in a day or two, it could even reach that level if really there is a momentum or a big positive news that might come out. So for those people who have already positioned here, I think they're just relaxing at this point. but definitely 297. Try to observe that key level because in the short term, that could already be your possible resistance. What about now? Now, okay, so I see now crossing the MA20 line. So we might experience some more profit taking at this point. And let's see if, take a look at the weekly chart. Um, we could even reach as low as this key level 391, 390 area or 4. Yeah, around 4 peso level. Reason for that is if you are to look at the weekly chart over here, you have a resistance formed here, and then also this key level when it was reached multiple times, there was a rejection that happened, and we just managed to cross that path, and it is revisiting that key level. So I've mentioned this in several of my videos that when a stock goes beyond the resistance area, it continues to move higher, and then at what point it will revisit that and then continue to move up. So on a weekly chart, this could just be a retracement, and you can even use a Fibonacci tool to measure the key levels or key areas where it could potentially bounce. So for instance, I go here and then I go up here. So the next possible drop could be around the 427 level. But if you will use your wick up to this point and then you also use the wick up to this point, then this could already mean a bounce, right? That is if you use the wick. So if you use just the body and then of course the body over here, then almost the same. Could be this level, and the next drop could be here, and the next drop could be here. So these, at least some key areas where it could potentially bounce. At the moment, it is still at its profit taking. So as we go down, and then the body of the candlestick becomes smaller and smaller, then that's your good sign. Look at the volume here as well. As we go downwards, the volume is also starting to decline. That means you have fewer, or you have lesser people, lesser people who are taking profit at this level right now. So they could already be holding onto their position, ready for that second wave. Okay, so just I'd stay with this for now, the 4.02, because on a daily chart, I see a possible bounce at that area. Okay, so just plot those key levels, 4.41, 4.28 and 4.02 as possible areas of bounce, nearest areas of bounce. Next is IMI. IMI is also what? This could also mean a continuous uptrend, right? This is your resistance here. You had your resistance here, and we managed to break out of that. So it revisited that, and it looks like it is attempting to continue the uptrend. 6.47 is the nearest support, which it was the previous resistance, and right now, when it revisited that key level, now it's acting as a possible support. If you are to look at it for 3 days straight, the movement is just within this range when it dropped. So try to see if it'll continue to move higher. And so far, if you're to enter this for the long term, we still have a very, very promising position at this point. Previously, it even reached the 22 level here, so I think that's a good sign. We're starting to recover, and if you are to look at it, your lows are starting to become higher lows. So you see that mid to long term wise, we are still in respecting the uptrend right here. So key area 6.47, that's your resistance that could potentially act as a support knot. Next one is SSP. Oh, where did my SSP? Oh, SSP is just doing sideways, but it's like it's trying to accumulate right near the resistance. So let us see if it will continue to break that, but definitely this is your short-term resistance. Now, if it breaks that, there could be um, possible continuation to the upside, right? Because normally when it accumulates near the resistance and the volume is also starting to pick up. Let's see. Yeah, volume is also starting to pick up right here. There is a big chance that it will break eventually. It will break your resistance and continue its trend. Um, but if you're a position trader, yeah, it's up to you if you'd like to consider this. But normally for position traders, uh, they must have already entered right here. But still, this is considered at a still promising level because at one point it reached these highs, right? So we're still just halfway, probably 10 to 20% increase would be a good profit taking level already. Um, but we'll see, right? We'll just observe how the market sentiment is, the price action, those things. Just observe. But these resistances are a bit for me. It's a strong resistance because it has been hit multiple times, and each time we reached that level, there was some difficulty breaking it. But in the event it breaks, I think it's onto a great ride to the upside. Okay, so maybe what you can do, wait for a confirmation, a breakout of the 155 level would be a much better entry at this point. AEV, AEV, I'd say just stay on the sidelines for now. We're creating a lower high and some lower lows for the past how many weeks, right? So I'd say maybe you can consider other stocks for now because it's still following the downtrend channel and I see some possible declines, more declines in the coming days for AEV. Let's take a look at Cebu Pacific. Cebu Pacific is trying to, I think this is a confirmation that we've broken the MA20 line. Uh, let's see if it is going to respect this channel right here. What is this? This one, let's use this. Okay, so if it does not break this yellow line, which is still, if you're to look at it for the past how many weeks, it has been respecting that still in an uptrend, right? Consider this uptrend because as it dips, each time it dips, it's slightly higher than the previous drop. And you also had some higher highs right here. It's not that it's not an equal it's a not a parallel line, but as you can see it's obviously starting to show some higher highs there, but you have to observe, okay, take a closer look here. You can probably enter if you want to enter in this stock. um, Make sure you see a confirmation. For instance, this green line here, first two lines would be that those were your confirmation. So some may have already entered here because that's a green, but the perfect entry was at this point when you had your second green line, because that was already a confirmation. And look what happened next. It bounced. Maybe you can also do the same. If it respects this line, that would be your good entry. All right. Cebu Pacific, Air Asia resume flights as Rolly barrels away from Luzon. Okay, that's good. What about the other stocks? Let's take a look at the other stocks. So, of course, Dito has been trending ever since, and looks like, wow, it respected this resistance level, and there was again a continuation of the profit taking. So let us all be extra careful. It's good if it will respect the MA20 line, okay? But I'd say I will not be surprised if it will continue to drop because second time when it reached the resistance area, your RSI is showing some declines. And definitely, I think this is the reason why we're seeing some reds here. However, sometimes when it drops, it's not really going to drop so much. It will still follow the other indicators that we have. And at the moment, we still have our MA20 line here, right? So if this does not break and just continues sideways, then that's good, right? It could do this before it goes up again. Um, so far, I have not seen any negative news about this stock. In fact, there are a lot of good news coming out in the past few days, and I know there are a lot more this coming December. I think, if I'm not mistaken, they'll be releasing their SIM cards this December, and they already did some testings. So I think there's a big possibility that it will just continue to move higher. It's just a matter of time. We just do not know how fast it'll take, or it will go sideways first before it continues to move higher. Okay. Next is Converge. Converge, it's still revisiting. So, what are the chances of it dropping again and revisiting our 1394? I'd say there's a big possibility. So right now, if I'm to draw this is how it looks like. So it dropped. It dropped. Oops, what's happening? Ayaw na mag-draw. Okay, so let's see this. Why? What's happening? So what happened here is from here it dropped up to this point and then it bounced, but the bounce is lower. So it created that lower high. So key area to watch out. Next would be the previous support because it could just bounce there or it will. What's worse is if it will create a lower low. Probably next low would be around 13.17 because I'm just basing it on the facts that I see here. So just be extra careful because either way, if it drops here or it drops right over here, point is it will potentially drop. So just look for other stocks first. This one, BDO, I like the candlestick today. Uh, for me, this is a bounce, a very obvious bounce that we have here. So if you're planning to add more volume in this stock, I'd say good timing. I think this is a good confirmation. So anywhere from 88.86 would be a good entry for BDO. Overall, the volume is still there. Look at that. As we stabilize here, the volume is starting to pick up. It goes with, of course, one, the revenue for Q3 looked promising. The index is also looking good, so I think in almost all areas, the stock is also manifesting some good signs. SM is, wow, 2.58. There was a gap up that happened, and within the day, that gap was filled and it ended here. So I will not be surprised if it goes gap up again tomorrow, especially because one, the index is also looking good. The setup in the index is good, so that for me would probably entice more foreign investors. So in the event it starts much higher than 980, then that's probably a confirmation that we have a breakout play next. SMPH looking good as well. It respected our MA20 line. Look at that. See that? So our support at this point is right over here, 31.95. So either way, still the setup is really really good. So anywhere from 31.95 to 33 is still a very good level to start. Actually, it's not really a perfect setup because for position traders, this could have been your perfect setup right over here when it managed to cross the MA20 line. But still, if you're a mid to long term investor, it's still really, really nice setup. At this point, 31.95 is our support. Next is Mary Mart. Mary Mart, I think this is a breakout for Mary Mart. Um, we've broken out of this resistance. Okay, so I see some more bullish movements in the coming days for Mary Mart. And well, let's check though if this is going to act as a resistance. In the meantime, 3.44 is the nearest support. So just be extra careful. I understand that it will potentially move higher, but just take note that you're very near your overbought levels as well. So just see, closely monitor it. Okay. BDO or BPI. BPI is currently situated at your short-term resistance, right? Oh, there's a dividend. Nice. Look at this. This used to be a resistance, and we stopped right there. So one thing to take note of, tomorrow, if it starts much higher than this resistance, then you have a confirmed breakout there. Overall, similar to how your video is looking, is forming right now, BPI is also looking really, really good. Um, I think we will have some more bullish movements in the coming days for our banking sector. C. Okay, C, just be extra careful, similar to our Dito. Profit taking happened, and for this one, I think we might see some more profit taking because this has officially crossed the MA20 level with a 5.27% drop. So let us see if this key area is going to sustain. Let's see if this is going to create a support right at the 5 peso level, 5.025 peso level. So right now, that's the nearest support I'm looking at. But you had some foreign buying right there, so let us see. 5.02 for me is a big possibility. JFC. JFC for me is also a bounce. Nice bounce for JFC. At least it did not really drop big time. It was just a slight dip. I think this is, if I'm to draw a Fibonacci retracement, we'll plot that. Let's see. Yep. Where could that be? Yeah, you can use this in the short term, right? So I don't think I need to do that. For JFC, it has obviously bounced already at the 169. So I think time to buy for more. And I'm addressing this to our long-term investors, by the way, because if you're a position trader, this is a much better entry. But given that, so there's no foreign buying. So maybe you can, yeah, at least this one, I'd like to address this to our long-term investors. So even if it's slightly higher right now, overall, uh, the stock has good potentials. Looks like the market is already recovering. Overall, the economy is already recovering. Um, Stores are starting to open, and of course, it follows that the restaurants are also open. So use 169 as our support. Okay, I think that is it for tonight. I wish you luck in your trades tomorrow, guys. In the meantime, if you like this video, please hit the like and subscribe if you'd like to see more of our videos um, in the coming days. I do this every single day so that we are all prepared for the action the next day. Thank you and bye bye for now.